he is only asking us, he's only cautioning us to do what he has done himself. Like, yes, speak life over your loved ones. And baby, you better be. Like, who else is going to speak life over your wife if you ain't husband? Who else is going to speak wife over your husband if you aren't wife? That is your job. That is your priority. That is your, not even requirement. That's your privilege. Like, do you know how good it feels to be the one that gets to speak life over my woman? Like, I pray I'm the one. Or my babies. I don't want them saying I love you to no one else but me. Like, we're going to keep this marriage healthy and happy because I want them to know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am the one that gets to speak life. God has given me that authority by giving me them as my children and me as their father. He has the same authority over us. He's the one that gets to speak life. Ain't nobody else going to tell you who you are and what you're worth except your Father in heaven. And the same is true for us. Fathers, like, the same is true. Take it serious. Speak life. And mamas, take it serious. Like, I see all the time these moms, like, just calling the little girls, like, oh, stop it now, ho. You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally do this. And you think it's funny and playing, but what if they accept that one day? What if they think, that's all mom ever calls me, and that spirit of promiscuity, like, gets in their heart, and all of a sudden you deal with some stuff at 16, 18 years old you didn't think you'd have to deal with before. How do you think that happened? Because they had the wrong friends? Nah, because you've been speaking the wrong words from their life. And they took them to heart. And that spirit developed in them. You gave them a foothold to the words you spoke. Watch your mouth. That's what Jesus is saying. Now, I want you to see the good here because God has been after you his whole life. And you need to understand that he ain't quitting on you. Like Christ, baby, Christ is speaking nothing but good over you. Now, watch this. Even when you should have been wrote off, he says, nah, just give me some more time. I'm going to keep talking to him. I'm going to keep hashing it out with them. I'm going to keep wooing them and charming them and speaking to them that what? That they might finally accept this and it bears fruit in their hearts. Watch. Verse 1. Now there were some present at the time he told Jesus about the Galileans, whose blood Pilate had mixed with their sacrifices. Jesus answered, do you think that the Galileans were worse sinners than all the other Galileans because they suffered this way? I tell you no, but unless you repent, you will all perish. Or there was 18 who died when the tower in Siloam fell on them. Do you think they were more guilty than all the others living in Jerusalem? I tell you no, but unless you repent, you too will perish. Then he told this parable. Now watch this. A man had a fig tree growing in his vineyard, and he went to look for fruit on it, but did not find any. So he said to the man who took care of the vineyard, for 3 years now I have been coming to look for fruit on this fig tree, and haven't found any. Cut it down. Why should it use up soil? Sir, the man replied, leave it alone for 1 more year, and I will dig around it and fertilize it. If it bears fruit next year, fine. If not, then cut it down. Do you see this? Like, the gardener's the father. He says, I ain't seeing nothing from these people. Like, cut them down. Like, they ain't bearing no fruit. There's no fruit coming out their heart that's good. It's all bad. And Jesus, our intercessor, starts speaking. Not just, and here's the thing I want you to take away from this. If you take nothing else away, he is not only speaking to you words of life, he is speaking for you words of life. Christ is our intercessor. He is like our defense lawyer up in that joint. He says, nah, he ain't guilty. I got him. Give me 3 more years. I'll dig around it. I'll put fertilizer in it. And then, and only then, if it ain't bearing fruit, I'll let you cut it down. What's he saying? He says, just give me some more time to talk to him. Just give me some more time to bring this into their heart, to bring this into their mind, to get them to where they need to get to, that they might have ears to hear and eyes to see. Just give me some more time. I ain't giving up on them just yet. And that's the Christ that we celebrate today. That's the one we worshiping and proclaiming today. The one who loves us without abandon, without needing to see those immediate results. He's the one that continues to woo us. Don't you understand? I baptized a 72-year-old woman not a year or two ago. 72 years, Jesus ain't gave up on him. Like, never. He kept digging around. He kept fertilizing. He kept speaking life. And those words had the Spirit of God behind them. And she finally accepted it. And they bore fruit. And she said, I want to accept him as my Lord and Savior. I want to follow into baptism. And I had the honor of putting her in it. But you know how that took place? He spoke. And that Spirit behind those words got into that heart. And it bore that fruit. And that's what our Jesus is doing. He's not only speaking to us the words of life, he's speaking for us. When we don't have the words to speak for ourselves, we can't defend ourselves. God, in his mercy, in his grace, sent one who could speak on our behalf. And he intercedes. I'm about to read it to you. On the right hand of God the Father, on our behalf, speaking words of life for us, but also words of life to us.